Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel, Life Snapshot. Evelyn, Greg and Muttley here from Australia. Appreciate you dropping by. Thanks everybody for subscribing. Chuck a comment down below if you wish. We're always happy to chat to people, especially from other parts of the world. So today I wanted to talk about passwords. Now some of us can that's a kind of a difficult thing to remember passwords, especially in today's day and age. You've got that many passwords that you need, and it's a great idea to keep them all different PIN numbers, keep them all separate, one PIN number for this, one PIN number for that, one password for this, and etc. And I thought of a couple of ways. Well, a couple of the ideas came from other people that I know, but I'm going to claim them for myself just for this video. But anyway, thanks everybody for checking us out, and please consider subscribing if you have not. It really helps us grow. So let's get into it. You could use like old phone numbers, phone numbers from houses you lived in when you were a teenager, or phone number from an old workplace or something like that. That's is just embedded in your mind, like an old place that you used to work at. Phone number that I used to work at was 95467866. So, you could use that number. What's the chance of somebody knowing that I'm going to use that number as a PIN, and that I'm linked to that, place of work, and put the whole thing together to work out that's what I'm using for the PIN. And it's something that you can remember, you can look back on it. Maybe the company still exists, so, the phone number's always there. It's very easy to remember. Credit cards. So you got your credit card. It's got a long number. I think it's a 12-digit number, isn't it? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's 16-digit number. Well, you could use a section of that. Okay, credit card's always on you, always in your wallet. Okay, you could use part of that. It's virtually going to be impossible for someone to find that. You know what I mean? We have Medicare cards here, so you could use the number on the Medicare card for your PIN. You could even change it up a bit so that the sequence of the numbers on the Medicare card is not exactly as you're using the PIN. So if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, for example, you could use 4, 3, 2, 1, or 2, 3, 1, 4. So yeah. So, and it's always on you. So if you forget it, you can quickly pull that out and go, oh, that's right, that's the number, and it'll eventually come to you without even you knowing anyway. You do that a couple of times. Some people, it's difficult to remember these passwords. This is one I use, is old license plate numbers. So over my years of driving, I've had so many different types of cars, including company cars, company trucks I drove for. I still remember quite a lot of those old license plate numbers, and most of them don't exist anymore. Our country, Australia, goes through a certain period where they have to change the number plate styles and numbers, because they're basically running out of that style, because more cars are being come on the road as our population grows. So I'm remembering license plate numbers from back when I was 20, even in my teens, that do no longer exist. They do not exist, but I do remember those license plate numbers. So I use them from time to time, the sequence. So just in case I forget, I go, oh, that's right, that's the PIN from my old Ford back in 1990, and boom, 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 boom. And then I just remember it. It's kind of like putting something in place in your mind to remember that code. So an old license plate, and like I said before, an old phone number. And these are things that you don't have to then necessarily write things down to remember them. When you write things down, especially PIN numbers, there comes a little bit more of a risk for somebody to find that number. So yeah, old license plates, old phone numbers, and parts of credit cards. Especially, of course, you do not use your bank card number for your PIN. That's a bit silly. You'd use a credit card number from a credit card for your bank, and your bank number from and vice versa. You get it, right? So that's three things you could put, like, what's it called? It's called mind memory, I think. So you relate something to the PIN: an old address where you used to work, an old house you used to live in, address 1234, that's what you use because you remember that you lived at that address. So there's no need to write it down. Some of us, no matter what, cannot for the life of them remember their PIN numbers. Maybe it's because, you're getting on in age, and all of us, let's face it, our mind slowly shuts down. Maybe it's because you rarely use your PIN. You rarely go to your bank ATM. And it's only once or twice a year that you use your ATM, and you go to the ATM and you're like, oh, I've forgotten. A little trick that I used to use was get your phone, put the PIN number into your phone contacts as a phone number. So make up a name that you only sort of remember that's the PIN number. So make up, I don't know, a bank, or a banker, or a cash, or a T Macintosh, and then it stands for ATM, and then put the phone number as a full long phone number. You might only have a 4-digit code, but you put the whole, put a whole phone number in, 95551234. The chances of someone first of all getting your phone and then actually getting into your phone and finding that contact and knowing that that's the contact that relates to your bank PIN is virtually impossible, right? But it helps you just in case you rarely go to an ATM. It's only once or twice a year you go to an ATM. You get to the ATM, you're like, oh, I forgot what it is. You just go into your phone contacts, bum, 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 there it is, boom. No one's to know. You don't have to tell people that you do these types of things. You just keep it your own little secret. No one's ever going to link that name in your contacts to your bank PIN. Just a few things that I thought that I would share with everybody, just in case you're having a little bit of difficulty remembering your PINs and your passwords. Little tricks of I suppose, of the trade of how you can simply remember things in your past, relate them to numbers, and use them as PINs today. License plate numbers, credit card, old credit cards, Medicare card, phone numbers from previous jobs or places where you previously lived, or old mobile phone numbers that you remember, and you can even link old addresses or something like that where you used to live. Another good one, just before we go, is postcodes. Postcodes are, there's thousands of them, all different, ways of doing it. So remember an old postcode from where you used to live, or a postcode of a school you went to, or a postcode of an ex-girlfriend or boyfriend. You could use that, so you could always go, oh, what's me passcode again, what's me PIN again? That's right, it was from that postcode when I used to date that girl or that guy. There's another one for you. All the best. Look, thanks everybody for watching. Hope it helps you out. Remember, it's not what you know, it's who you know, and I'll see you next time.